Okay, 3 days in a row. Tic-tac-toe. All right, so the topic of discussion, as it is every day, is Bitcoin. Welcome to Crypto.XL. All right, I'm trying to get, trying to get used to going live more often and recording videos and so on. It's good practice and good training. All right, and then we're gonna also improve the audio quality. That's another thing. But anyway, since I'm here right now and live, let me give you a quick update. This video will not take that long. It's my belief that we're in a bear market, and anytime we get pumps to the upside, especially significant pumps, I'm going to be looking for short positions to take. I do realize that there is risk involved, a lot of risk, high risk, right? Because this is crypto. Anything that involves crypto includes a lot of risk. So I'm not going to be using huge portions of my portfolio to short. Okay, I'm not going to be taking like 80% of my portfolio and dumping it into a 20x leverage short. I was about to say leverage long. I guess it's just most people, when they say leverage, they say leverage long, but short, leverage short. I'll use a small portion to short, and I'll also set type stop losses. So if I get stopped out, I get stopped out. I believe this is lower risk than holding spot in a bear market. All right, so we hit 88K, and we've come down a little bit to 86K, maybe 85.9. I believe that at some point we're going to have a capitulation wick. Look, we've closed 2 consecutive weeks below the 50-week moving average. I have to follow my principles. I have to follow my strategy. It has nothing to do with how I feel and what I feel about the market. Because if I was following my feelings, I probably would not be doing this, right? My feelings will say, hey, look at the prices of these alts. They haven't been this low in so long. These are great prices. We're in extreme fear. Doesn't it feel like this is a good time to DCA in? Look at these prices. Those are my feelings. Taking my feelings out of it and looking at it just based on numbers, looking at it intellectually, looking at it as an investor, a long-term investor, and a strategist, someone who uses strategy and looks at the market and thinks long-term. If we close 2 weeks consecutively below the 50-week moving average, it's probably not a good time to be bullish. We are going to have bounces. I anticipate, yes, we will have bounces. So that's why I also have to be very careful of not getting destroyed in a bounce, right? And that's why I have to make sure that I only use small amounts of capital, not my portfolio, not my entire bag, my reserve, my ammunition. My strategy is to survive a bear market, right? If I'm correct, and we are in a bear market, the strategy is to survive the bear market, okay? There's no need to take a whole lot of risk. Also, we have to be aware of the fact that 90% of the people that enter crypto end up not making even 10K in crypto, okay? Most people lose money in crypto. So why take all of this extra risk if it's not necessary? Now, I'm sure there's going to be newsworthy events that happen, but if we are in a bear market, good news does not push prices up in a bear market. It barely pushes prices up, should I say. And bad news causes capitulation wicks. So until further notice, I'm going to, stay on the side of caution, manage my risk, and play this market like it is a bear market. And I use the words that I use because no one knows for sure, right? I'm not going to come online and be like, I know for sure that we're going to fall 30% again, and this is, I don't know that for sure, right? I'm taking my feelings out of it, and I'm looking at the chart, what the chart is telling me. And the chart is telling me that, even though we have bounces that the downside risk is way, way higher than the upside risk, especially when that is translated into altcoins, right? So if Bitcoin pukes again another 20%, what this means for all altcoins is complete devastation. I will say that a lot of the coins, we did not think that they would come down to the August 10th capitulation wick. But if you look at these altcoins, there are a few of them that have hit that, especially the lower the market cap is, the lower the market cap, the higher the potential that they have hit that October 10th capitulation wick price, and the higher the potential that they've actually broken below it. So altcoins can go way lower than anyone expects. The crypto market is almost like a casino, because the losses are outsized and the returns are also outsized. So the most important strategy you have to have for the market, the most important variable you have for the market, is your timing. What is your timing? At what price did you buy? When did you get into the market? When did you sell? When did you get out of the market? These are the two things that you can control. You cannot control if an exchange has a capitulation wick when you're doing on a 2x leverage. So basically, people that were in 2x leverage trades in top 20 altcoins still got liquidated on October 10th, still. So this is why that wick that we had on October 10th was devastating. Oh, by the way, hi, Lord. Hey, Heather. All right, Arenia. I have to pay attention to the road, so apologies for not reading too much of the text down below. I don't want to get pulled over and have my own capitulation wick on the road, right? That would be funny, wouldn't it? For a live, I go viral on a live. But shout out to Big Boy. But you have to control your risk. If we're in a bear market, control your risk. Do not get over leveraged. Don't do anything crazy. Don't reverse trade, because you'll be surprised, right? Human beings, I know we're all individuals. We have our own individual triggers, but we're similar in a lot of ways. And because we're similar in a lot of ways, that's why things like the Fibonacci retracement works. That charting is a thing. This is why the 4-year cycle is a thing. We are predictable, and revenge trading, or the will to revenge trade, is predictable. Okay, and the market makers, the reason why they're so wealthy, and the reason why they continue to extract money, is because human behavior is predictable. So what you're actually trying to do is you're trying to detach your emotions and your feelings from your trading, and you're trying to look at things analytically, right? You're trying to say, if 90% of the people do A and 90% of the people really don't make any money, then the folks that do make money, they do B. What do they do, right? And that's really what you're trying to do. So you're trying to be analytical. And one of the things I will say is that by pump, all right, so Bitcoin has come down to 80K, and now we see the market start to turn green, and we start seeing the market come up. So what I feel like doing is to join the wave, because it looks like we're getting green candles, and the extreme fear, it was 10, it's starting to change. It went back to 19. It's starting to change. I don't want to miss the wave on the way up. This is it. We're coming back. This was the bottom. That's what it feels like, right? But if you detach your feelings from it, you take a macro viewpoint on the market, you still have to explain what happened on October 10th. That's still not, whatever explanations out there, is still not satisfactory. If Bitcoin's can drop 70% in one day. And I know that it was, again, a capitulation wick, but it still dropped 70% in one day. SUI, SUI, it went from like 450 or 5, whatever it was, like $1 something, and it happened in one day, right? And this goes back to my point that I was mentioning before, that if you look, these coins are filling up that capitulation wick. So this was actually a foretelling of what's going to happen. So basically what I'm saying to you is that it took a lot of confidence out of the market, but I also do not have confidence in the market right now, because there's no satisfactory explanation for what happened on October 10th. And I also believe, I was about to say feel, I also believe that what I'm seeing now is a trap. And no matter how high we go, I'll tell you this, I do have points where I'm going to change my mind. Should we break the 50 moving average? Should we get back above it and maintain it? Then I'll admit, hey, it looks like this was the bottom, right? Right. I'm gonna have price points where my theory is going to be proven wrong. I am not going to I'm not going to remain permanently bullish, and I'm not going to remain permanently bearish. I am going to read the charts and follow the charts. As a trader or investor/trader, you have to read the charts and you have to follow what the chart tells you. You can't be permanently bearish, you can't be permanently bullish. You have to just do what the chart tells you. Because if you ignore reality kicks you in the butt, right? Reality is reality, right? Reality is that Bitcoin lost a tremendous amount of value in a very short amount of time. And normally in a bull market, that would be a great time to enter, right? If you feel that if you still think that we are in a bull market, then it would be a great time to enter. I am not a financial advisor. I do not give financial advice. Everything you're watching here is for entertainment and educational purposes only, right? So you take what I'm giving you and do what you want with it. The only way you make money in a market like this is if you take responsibility for your actions and your decisions. No one can tell you when to buy and when to sell, right? You have to decide what is best for you using the information in front of you, because you're going to see opportunities at a certain point where no one else is seeing it, and you're also going to see danger where no one else is seeing it, right? But again, this market right here, it's been a very, I would say, manipulated, scam-filled market situation. There again, the October 10th wick, there is no legitimate explanation for that. And because there is no legitimate explanation, no acceptable explanation, I'm going to expect it again. Something scammy happened. No one got punished for it. If no one got punished for it, and millions, hundreds of millions, if not billions of dollars was extracted from the market, it went from participant A to participant B, and no one got in trouble for it, well, that means it's going to happen again, right? If it happened and no one got in trouble for it, it's going to happen again. Yeah. So just, look out for it. I'm gonna remain bearish, and I'm gonna continue to do my plan. I'm gonna open shorts every time we get a major pump up. Let's open a short, and I'm gonna be chilling. But this is your morning update. This is Monday morning. I'm anticipating a dump. I think there's gonna be a dump, and I don't know, guys. Okay, I'm not saying I know for I'm not saying I know for a fact. I'm not saying that. Entertainment and educational purposes. Manage your risk, be smart. All right, this is Crypto.XL, and I will see you guys at the top. Peace.